But of course, the other staples, I'm waiting to see whether or not Void and DP get picked along somewhere as well, just because they are still very, very popular. Foreigners have a lineup that likes to, well, VS, we often see VS comboed with DP. It's very good. At the same time, Scarith Mage very good at bursting down targets, so he's a very solid option as well. Foreigners going to take their time with his first, or second pick rather. Just spilling over in the overtime there. Now they have banned out the Brewmaster Kiro. Brewmaster, despite nerfs, still very strong. His laning phase was weakened a little bit, but he's still very, very good in the lane. Like, he's still very good. He can get his own CS and farm up. Just makes him a little bit less resilient. So I find it's less about the whole laning harassment. It's more about just getting jumped. That 2 armor really does make a fair bit of difference. Just allowing him to be chipped down a little bit lower. And when the people show up, especially if you hit him with something like Wave of Terror, it's just that much more effective. But Brew being banned out along with the Jakiro. So Foreign is getting rid of some of the push there. There's definitely a very consistent push, and Nips, on the other hand, very worried about that Broodmother. She's definitely a headache if you can't deal with it, but Foreigners will go with the DP pick, and Nips, oh man, this is a... When I saw art style Captain Dara, this was a go-to pick for him, especially maybe with the Chen buffs. I mean, stuff I used to see was Chen, oh, I suppose Chen probably not going to get slotted in here unless they're planning for a solo Scarith Mage. I mean, that's doable, that's definitely doable. Scarith Mage can solo. And I could even see him taking solo mid against a Death Prophet, because that is a really rough lane for almost any hero to try and tackle. The constant harassment is insanely strong. So if they wanted to, it could even be Scarith Mage to shut down mid, and I'm surprised we don't actually see it more often. We see picks like Viper and Razor get banned out because teams like, yeah, I don't want that in the mid. I don't want to have to deal with that in the mid. That's a lane-dominating hero, and we're going to have a relatively weak mid. Even if it's a strong mid, sometimes you just really don't want to deal with it. And Scarith Mage, I think, is very much a sort of forgotten hero that can play that role. So I think he's definitely viable in that case, but with an Ember banned out, maybe not then. Scarith Mage would crush Ember in the mid lane, so I guess not then. They'd probably be pretty happy to tackle that head on. But Drow Ranger also being banned out, I think it's probably a wise idea. Between the double auras there, between VS and Drow, it's a lot of damage. Plus, it also just really puts Death Prophet off to a really strong start. She's got all that extra damage from the auto attack. She can harass even harder from a distance. It's definitely quite painful. And we've seen VS and Drow put together a lot, paired up fairly frequently as well. They're quite strong if they get the chance. And in fact, a lot of teams will just opt to straight up ban it so they don't have to deal with that kind of combo, as we've seen right here, right now. And the other benefit as well, VS does help one of Drow's issues, is when she gets jumped, she can really struggle to get away. So she can let rip with her ultimate again. Of course, needing that extra damage from her agility gain. And VS helps solve that issue. It's one of the issues that you can have with Drow if you get jumped early on in the fight. Foreigners, though, will ban out the Night Stalker. I think it's definitely a one choice if you're trying to get Snowball Hero up to snuff. Being restricted in the mid-game is definitely quite painful. Also, EO very strong for diving, but Puck now picked up. So they've got some good initiation there for both teams, actually. Foreigners grabbing up the Tide Hunter as well, so that's probably their offlane secured. On the other hand, I believe we'll probably have a solo mid Puck up against Scarif. But Puck actually deals with DP very effectively. The Cryptstorm harass he can dodge very easily with the phase shift, and of course he can harass right back with the orb as well. It's just basically CS from a good distance away, not have to get too close. And Death Prophet really sometimes can Death Prophet can struggle to trade hits with Puck as well. If he gets the upper hand and nukes, she comes forward, gets hit by an orb, and he dodges the wave. She's very much behind when it comes to trading hits there. But Foreigners now with their 4th pick. Tide offlane. I think they might just grab their second support. Oh, actually no, they might grab their carry here and save their last support in case Nips have any surprise picks coming out.
Anti-mage.
There we go. The carry will be picked up. It will be an anti-mage. Now we've seen actually some solo mid anti-mages go up against the Puck, and it is not too bad actually. I mean, you won't get the fastest farming anti-mage ever. In fact, if you were watching Lions a couple of days ago, in fact, it was Era playing a solo mid anti-mage. It's definitely doable. Puck is a hero who does not like getting whacked around by the mana drain. It really quite cripples him in the laning stage. He can definitely still get the harass down anti-mage, but if anti-mage gets the early poor man shield and then gets the bottle out, he's actually pretty hard to drive in lane. He will get some decent CS. Not as much as a free farm, like a safe lane free farmer anti-mage, but it can basically allow you to strengthen your off lane and your safe lane with some kind of killing pair and just make it troublesome for your opponents. Especially if they have to keep roaming mid to try and shut down the mid, try and shut down the anti-mage mid, because that means your Puck is now sharing a lane and sharing experience, and you could quite easily just rotate a support up there, and Puck starts to be quite scared about that, because a stun, and then anti-mage hits him a few times, suddenly he's out of mana, he's got no more orb, and he can be brought down. It's definitely an issue for him. Faceless Void, though, picked up by Nips. And that definitely... Oh, man. That's actually really, really strong as a combo. Faceless Void and EO. Now, this just basically... Faceless Void has a great team fighting ult. Like, he's the kind of ult that you really want to have turn up to a fight. Every single fight that you can find. Because it pretty much guarantees a kill. Especially with Skywrath Mage around. The issue is, of course, you quite often just want to sit down and farm with Void. EO, obviously... Best of both worlds. Sit down and farm with Void until the fight breaks out, and then Void comes to the fight, chronos something, Skywrath Mage dumps DPS all over them, and then you laugh and have a picnic and go home. It is definitely very, very easy to pick off kills like that, so I like that pick there. Now, it looks like they might want to ban at the Ancient Apparition here. One of the more irritating things to have happen, of course, is Ancient Apparition and Neo do not mix very well at all. It can be quite annoying, but then again, if you're just playing for the mobility, it's definitely doable. But also the other... No, I think over the Dazzle, which, you know, I can appreciate that too. Dazzle as well, that's a lot of negative armor coming out with the DP, and most of all, it basically is not one but two skills to try and offset the Chronosphere. Obviously, Shallow Grave can be pretty damn annoying if it comes down to the last second, just keeping somebody alive inside the Chronosphere, and of course have Swap as well, to help deal with that Chrono, so I reckon that's a solid ban there as well. We'll leave 4 anchors open to pick up that... Ice Blasting Ancient Apparition if they want to, and between Ancient Apparition, Ice Blast, a huge damage output of Death Prophet, and Tidehunter's Ravage, that could be a very big problem for Nips to deal with.
Disruptor.
But it will be a Disruptor. Oh, okay, of course, yes. And you know, if you want to deal with a Faceless Void jump, I don't know if it'll work 100% though. Yes, they will be able to glimpse Faceless Void back. The downside is if he gets the Chronosphere down anyway, that might be all that Nips want. Because if they get the Chronosphere down, it's quite possible that Skywrath Mage plus whoever else is being picked up can just dump damage into the Chronosphere, and that kind of solves the issue anyway. But Nips now, probably with an offlane to pick here, unless they could if they wanted, just pick up something else. Okay, so no, it looks like it'll be an offlane Faceless Void. It will in fact be Gyrocopter safe lane, I think. And this actually works pretty well additionally. It's the fact that you can just have... It's extra speed for Gyrocopter to chase with Barrage, and also just flat out, he benefits from the attack speed. This just allows him to go raw damage. And of course, Flak Cannon is a tremendously powerful skill. As long as he can knock the attacks out quickly. He can struggle a bit if he gets trapped a bit or stunned for a little while and everybody starts backing up and moving away. It can definitely slow his damage output. But if he gets all those attacks out quickly, he gets all the damage dumped into his opponents, and then, you know, can break the tether or just move away or whatever. Oh man, that's going to be a tricky one. So off-lane Void. Not going to be safe lane Void after all. And if Nips want to, it's possible that they do an offensive tri-lane. That is definitely workable. If they want to do Gyrocopter, EO, and Skywrath Mage, EO's not that useful. He's in fact pretty bad. He's not great in fact, he's pretty bad in a tri-lane. He's not very useful at all. In terms of, he needs a lot of greed. He needs to level, he needs to pull, wants to get experience so he can get his levels up. He doesn't really want to be playing in a tri-lane, doesn't have a good start stun. But on the other hand, Gyrocopter, of course, is a monster to fight early levels. The Rocket Barrage does so much damage. And then, of course, Skywrath Mage is... nobody likes laning against this guy. It's a total pain in the ass. Apparently, Matumba Man has DC'd. Alright, then. Hopefully he gets back in a moment. There we go. Okay then, so I'll call up the lineup here for both teams. Alright, so playing for 4 anchors on the Radiant side, we've got Jirax playing Disruptor, Varlix playing Death Prophet, Boogie on the Vengeful Spirit, Trixie playing Titan, and Matumba Man playing the Anti-Mage. For the Dire team, for Nips, we have Faceless Void being played by Dubas, D2N on the Skywrath Mage, Immune playing Puck, Moon on the Gyrocopter, and Vlad rounding it out on the EO. And, ooh. Okay, dual mid, yeah, that definitely works. And Death Prophet might actually have to be worried about this. Gyrocopter's actually quite speedy in the early phase, and before she gets boots up and running, between the tether and the Gyrocopter's natural speed, they could quite easily run her down. Actually, no, never mind. Immune is coming to the mid lane. It is, in fact, going to be an offensive tri-lane. Void going to the safe lane up top, it seems. And, ooh, Nips got out there early. Anti-Mage gets greedy and blinks on the low ground to try and secure a rune. This could get ugly quickly. See what Gyrocopter scales up first, although actually he should be okay. Disruptor's there. They go for the kill. Disruptor can always just level up Blink quickly, or even the Kinetic Field should be able to stop them from catching him if he just levels up that Glimpse quickly. Even kinetic field. Kinetic field or glimpse both work really well. In terms of disrupting that early attack there. I think NiP's lacking right now. It's just a raw stun. I mean, if there's any weakness to NiP's lineup here, they don't have a good, raw, solid power stun. They've got Chronosphere, and that's literally it. Anti-Mage going to come down the low ground. They will save his blink. Smacks that bounty rune somehow. Walks into like 3 people, casually picks at the bounty rune, and then blinks out. I mean, this is exactly it. Like, no stun. Anti-Mage can just do that. Now, if Anti-Mage had been cheeky, sat on the high ground, blinked down, he could have been in all sorts of hurt. Tethered from EO to slow, and the barrage onto a single target. Bye-bye, single target. That would have been ugly indeed. But yeah, NiP's not a huge amount of control. They've got coil, which is nice, but it doesn't stop a lot of, it doesn't stop a lot of things that they might need to stop. Just, it's good, but it's not a stun. It's not an impale, it's not like a stormbolt. Yes, they do have the homing missile, but it takes a little while to get going. Actually, I wonder if you can place, I wonder if you can, literally face somebody, place the missile, and then 4-staff the missile immediately into them. I wonder if that works. That would actually be really cool if it does work, but Matama Man are going to continue to eat some harass here. Not much that they can do about the rocket at this point in time. Unless both heroes start hitting as soon as it spawns, I don't think they'll be able to kill it quickly enough before Anti-Mage takes a ton of damage. This could actually get pretty damn frustrating. Between the harassment, the unavoidable harassment coming from Skywrath Mage, and the missile from Gyrocopter, Anti-Mage may really struggle to get some farm in this lane. Meanwhile, though, in mid lane, Varlix is definitely winning out here. He's 8-2 up against 4-0 for Puck. Puck holding his own, but not doing as well as Varlix at this point in time. They've pretty much got identical builds there. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Jirak's going to eat another homing missile there, or his first homing missile. Most of them have been on Anti-Mage. They do actually destroy that one, though. Jirak's not going to eat that. Meanwhile, top lane tied. I guess this is probably the trade-off here. Trixie's eating a ton of tower hits there. Dubas, though, trying to stay at Anchor Smash range. Trixie's running over. He's Anchor Smash down. Dubas might actually try and just decide he wants to take aggro here and swing him. Trixie is going to back up, though. Bottom lane, Haste picked up. Anti-Mage walking into harass range. So right now, triple range going to cause some issues there for AM to farm, as well as a long range on the spells harassment there. Meanwhile, again, tied under. Trixie just decided, you know what, I'm going to live under this tower to set up a camp and just have a holiday under the enemy tower because he can. Throws at the Anchor Smash, and that is really going to make Void's life miserable. This is not a great lane for Void. Unless he backtracks the hell out of everything. But even then, he's still going to be taking the negative damage there on the Anchor Smash. It's going to be really frustrating to try and get that farm up and running. 10-1 for Anti-Mage, actually doing okay. Better than I expected considering the lane that he's in. It's definitely very heavy harassment. Meanwhile, Void just trading hits with Trixie. Trixie currently sitting on 2 levels of Crack and Shell plus his shield. So pretty much, actually, no, they're cancelling each other out. Never mind. Just wondering if they'll decide to rotate at all, or if they're happy with how this bottom lane is going. Gyrocopter finding a little bit more farm than I am. Not a whole lot though. His teammates, Vlad's teammates coming in there to back him up. And I think that was the right choice to make. Had he tried to back off there by himself, there's a good chance that he might have been eaten up there by... Actually, no, he wouldn't have. He's only level... It was only level 2, just hitting level 3 now, so no glimpse. It's a very dangerous time for support to be in this lane, just because they can get picked off very easily by an awkward glimpse like this. Right here, right now. Here we go. Glimpse going to come in there. Throwing T2 into a bad spot. Trying to heal him up right now. There's so much heal coming out there from Vlad. The bottle paying dividends. And the first blood going to come out here to Moon. Homing Missile does its job. Meanwhile, Boogie possibly taking some more hits. D2N got another Arcane Bolt in the moment. Down goes the Gyrocopter. Matama Man decides he wants another one. More attacks on D2N. Gonna go down. Another kill coming out there. Matama Man blinky away. Now Vlad, he's got very little armor here. Do we have a Wave of Terror? No, it's already been used. Negative armor. No. EO sitting on 0 armor. Got to man moded up there. Now it comes to Thunder Strikes on Vlad. Vlad being spotted up by the Kinetic Field, tries to zip away there. One more attack, will clean up another kill in the bottom lane. Now the homing missile on Jirax. Do we have a barrage? It's only level 1, gonna bounce to the creep. Decides not to use it just yet, goes close to the creep just to help him tank damage. Now we've got the silence coming down, the Anti-Mage blinky away. In comes the Arcane Bolt, not quite enough. No more vision here for the Skywrath Mage. I don't think he gets this kill, and he will have to back up there. 3 kills for 2 in that extended exchange there. First Blood did go to the Gyrocopter though, and he comes out with 408 gold. But Anti-Mage picks up 380 of his own, but he is forced to walk all the way back. This is definitely a big time waste of him. An extra kill there for 4 anchors. Unfortunately, their AM is walking home. This is going to waste a lot of time, a lot of farm, a lot of experience time for him. On the other, at least Boogie, though, picking up some XP now. Solo XP, going to help propel him up a little bit. 3 EO versus a level, Scarth Mage, sitting on level 3 as well. So they're a little bit ahead of the Dire supports at this point in time. Sorry, the Radiant supports are a little bit behind the Dire supports. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, 19 and 3 for Puck. Oh man, Varlix has definitely completely outstripped him here. 29 and 5. Puck's not being harassed out, just not landing as many last hits, it seems. Meanwhile, top lane though, Void 21 and 1. That's not a bad effort against a Titan. That's actually a really hard lane for melee heroes to play. It's just a really, really difficult lane. I'm actually surprised he's doing that well. Now Vlad, thinking about it. No, he's just going to send out the orbs. He's going to harass there. Anti-Mage now taking some more hits. The Iron Missile's going to come in. I don't think they've got anybody to destroy, though. He's just going to have to cop that hit. Tries to get under the tower. Going to hit a concussive shot as well. Meanwhile, they get some vision there of Boogie. Varlix is... I'm not sure what... Varlix is actually just warding. Is that a Dire Courier? That is a Dire Courier. I think the Dire Courier saw Varlix. They might actually suspect the ward in their jungle now. And that... They don't. That could actually quite awkwardly catch out Void. Jirak's going to throw in the kinetic field there just to make sure he catches vision of the rune, and then we'll deny it just to make sure EO cannot get that. So that bottle, that early bottle on EO was the only reason that 4 anchors didn't get that first blood. So many heals coming out of it onto the Skyrath. Really just nullifying the glimpse there from Disruptor. Puck 29 and 3 could be worse. He's catching up. He's closed the gap a little bit. No, Missile, nope, gonna get destroyed there. Tama Man again. Meanwhile, Fate Spirit's now picked up by Death Prophet. There's a lot of pinging coming out here. The Dire might want another ward down as this one appears to have been taken out.
Nay.
Smoke up there from Puck. Gonna try and get this kill. Silence down on Anti-Mage. We're gonna Dream Cold it deploy. Catches 2. So AM's in trouble. Blink away those snaps to Tether. He's gonna be fine. Out of the range there. Boogie now eating some more Arcane Bolts. Will be finished up there. Boxed in by Immune. Immune, no. In trouble now. Gonna phase shift there. One more hit. He's gonna go down. Puck though. Juking away. Traffic jam with the creep. Shooting away. Will reveal himself though. Gets Crypt Swarm down that last attack. He might have lived if he didn't make that attack. Revealing himself through the fog. And allowing Death Prophet to spam him down there with Crypt Swarm. And somehow Jirax gets out of that fight just barely by the skin of his teeth. But they pick off VS in return. But definitely the Puck kill there, way more valuable. And Anti-Mage manages to sit in the lane still. I like that he took the chance there, snapped the core, so screw it, snapped the core with a blink. Said, I'll take it. I just want to get out of range of these attacks. It was the right choice. He got out of trouble. And didn't eat any more damage. Void now, still, he's got his level 6, hasn't put his ult to use just yet. He's just hit level 7 there. Matama Man's being forced to back up again. This harass here coming out of the missile and the flak cannon. Definitely awkward stuff. There's Dark is still in level 4 though. It's downside of course to trialing as you end up a bit EXP starved. Actually, Anti-Mage with a solo time and kills, actually leeching more experience there. Now stun comes out on Immune. Do we have a silence to follow up? No, I think Puck's going to be okay here. He can just orb. Oh no, it's on cooldown. He might actually be in trouble. Another attack. Orb. Jaunt's already down.
And now, it matters not to me.
Can't get away there. Couldn't phase shift in time. Used it to dodge an attack already. And then unfortunately, Jaunt, not enough time to get onto the high ground for the orb. Draxo looking for a pick off here, maybe with Glimpse. No, they're just going to attack the missile, just making sure Boogie doesn't take any more hits there. Allowing him to keep his clarity. That was a fairly fresh clarity too. Now Vlad shows up in the mid lane. Too late to do anything about Puck. Top lane is Void. Still 33 and 1. Doing alright considering the matchup. Could definitely be a lot worse. Puck back in the mid lane. We'll see what he goes for after this. Has gone... He did open up with an Null Talisman just for early stats and laning presence. Strix is now stacking his enemy jungle and then back just clearing it out for himself. Well, Puck headed top. I don't know if they can actually get this kill. Tynata gets an Anchor Smash down before Void can actually pop Chrono. I think he actually lives here. Dream Coil is down. We'll cancel. Oh, okay, that's a bit awkward there. It's now going to come in here. Trixie, though, didn't get the Anchor Smash down. Go! Doesn't get it down still. I think that damage is going to be too much there. Gets bashed and will be brought down. As the slow comes in from... or maybe not actually. He's just surviving. One more hit. Void with no damage. In comes the orb. Gonna clean up Trixie there. Doesn't manage to dodge. Meanwhile, bottom lane, another fight breaking out. Jirax in the corner there. Doesn't have any tangos to cut his way through. Will be brought down as they go for the dive and pick off 2. 4 anchors. Unfortunately, they're trailing Bolter, and they make that 3 as the missile comes in. 4 anchors falling apart in the bottom lane. Those series of kills there, evening up the score quite nicely for Nips. Immune bottling up a bounty rune, and it looks like 4 anchors is happy to try and get some objectives mid, although they don't quite succeed. Mid tower falling low, and it looks like it's just going to get denied unless Alex is going to press forward here and try and do something about it. Oh, if you will, Puck should be able to get this deny, I think. Oh, actually, no, never mind. They didn't cancel. Valix just goes last hit, and they will get the deny, regardless. Now, Anti-Mage building the... okay, Ring of Regen and Ring of Health. I think he might have been building Tranquils, and then just decided, you know what, I'm just going to get a Ring of Health. Just for the laning stage. I don't know if he'll actually go... I don't even... you know what, actually, I could see an early Crimson Guard, just not on AM. The Crimson Guard against the flat cannon would be super helpful. Plus, there's also Void, also likes to get a lot of attack speed. And the faster people attack you, the more value you get out of Crimson Guard. But, yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if Anti-Mage gets a Crimson Guard. That would be pretty unusual for him. You see DP getting a Crimson Guard, though. That would definitely be very helpful for a team, or even Tide if you can find the money for it. Meanwhile, bottom lane Ravage comes out. This could be trouble. Moon pops the enhanced cool. Oh, and pops the enhanced cooldown here. So big on that range of Vlad, though, taking some heavy hits from Trixie. The physical damage against no armor is so damn painful. Trixie, though, being chased by a homing missile. Cannot get on top of him in time. Vlad now trying to juke through the trees. Trixie anchor smash in 1 second. No, jukes away there with the tether. Will get away, and they bring down the Titan. And they also pick up Anti-Mage as it looks like that. Oh, we're just going to come in on the opposite side. They go for a kill. Blocked off by the kinetic field, though Jirax should be able to get away. Never mind, Tether coming forward. Jirax going to go down. And Nips just completely outplaying 4 anchors there, although they do lose the Puck in the meantime. So Puck for a solo offlane and a support. Yeah. It's a lot of experience to be giving away from that high-level Puck. Meanwhile, top lane, Void now opting to get some free farm and has picked up a Midas. This is just going to be a nice little recovery Midas. Considering he had decent farm for a solo safe lane against the Titan, that Midas is definitely going to really help him get back up to speed to where he needs to be. And I feel like Nips aren't in any real probably not in any real rush here. They've got a Void, they've got a Gyrocopter, and they're probably feeling fairly set for the late game. Especially since Gyrocopter with a flat with a man. With the Chronosphere, it pretty much guarantees he can get off good flat cannon shots on specific targets, which means you could quite easily get a Rapier on him towards the end game and be very powerful and hard to stop because of the Chronosphere. Speaking of Chronosphere, Trixie now getting beaten up this. Does not have the Ravage up. Should be able to get away here. No, getting it stunned up. Tether going to come in. Slow comes in as well. Trixie in trouble. Gonna pop there. Oh, he gets swapped away. The in comes immune for the backside. The Puck will get that kill. The silence down on Puck. Puck gets cleaned up and they will get a support as well. They will lose Boogie. Nips, again, I'm not 100% sure who really benefits more from that. I guess they end up with more gold. It is on Wisp. Wisp could use it. Whereas 4 anchors not really getting a whole lot of beneficial gold. And most of it going to Jirax. Not to say that Jirax can't use money, but it's not as good as it going on other heroes early on. 1500 lead here for Nips, especially if they clean up these towers as well. Varlik super low. Might need to go back to base there. And, oh, that's what they're waiting for. Oh, man, Io. Oh, man, I bet he regrets that one. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, Void in the enemy jungle is nearby the anti-mage. See if he can make anything happen there. Meanwhile, top lane, the push is on. Death Prophet just putting that exorcism to use there. And should be able to get a free tier 1 top. In mid lane, though, Nips on the assault here. They should be... no, you know, I don't know if they get this. Ravage is up. Exorcism is down, but Ravage is up. Might be enough to scare them off, but they have cooldown again. That cooldown is really doing some serious damage. The AoE on this freaking amazing now. Bit of stacking going on over there by the Ancients. They might get a third one and then just have... Well, actually, no, Gyrocopter's opting for an early BKB. Now, this is good and bad. It'll help against the Silence, will help against the Ravage. But, of course, you get the BKB super early, it can really suck towards the late game. But in this case, I think they're largely just trying to avoid the basically the pick-offs with Glimpse as well as the Silencer. So I think in this case, nearly BKB, not too much of an issue. As Void goes for a Mask of Madness after his Midas pickup. You know, just skulking behind Moon, just making sure he's not going to get picked off. Bottom lane, though, could be in trouble here. So it looks like Immune's going to be spotted up there. Chrono's ready, got to be careful. Oh, the spot of the wall. Drax realizes he's in trouble. Chronosphere goes down. Might be a little bit far away. The swap out from Boogie. Oh, the bash comes in and Drax. In comes the Sanso. Throws down the kinetic field wall. Dodge the Mystic Flare. Now Tubaso stuck. In comes the Ravage as well. They throw down the Anti-Mage. Void there. Anti-Mage goes down, but it looks like they're falling low. Forank is falling super low. They lose Disrupted. Crobulus already having to back out. Does not have her ult. Immune now coming in the backside. Comes in the waning rift. Cleans up Death Prophet. Trixie blinks. Goes to the Anchor Smash. Cancels. Does it anyway. Throws it through again. Misses Immune. And now we'll have to run away. 4 down for 2. They lose a Void, but Nips are probably okay with that. 4 down, and all they lose is their safe lane. Essentially, their suicide laner. They were happy to give away that Void farm, and they're rewarded with 750 gold there on the Gyrocopter, and a whopping great 950. On the puck? Yes, on the puck. For a minute there, I went for Scarlet Metal. Wait a minute, no. No, it goes to the puck, and Puck can really use that. And there we go, look at that. 1k in the bank. He's got his blink now. And this is going to be awkward for Nips to deal with, especially if the Blink Coil sets up a big Chronosphere. Everybody rushes in a bad moment to try and defend. The people who have been called up, it could very easily lead to a couple of bad pickoffs there with Chronosphere. It's just a fight could have been different though. Like, Boogie got the swap out there, but unfortunately Jirax, once swapped out, pretty much threw down an essentially useless wall and threw down a useless wall. And Static Storm. He got it down on Void. Yeah, that was nice. But Void already blown the Chronosphere and doesn't exactly have a whole lot to offer at this stage of the game. Might have actually been better for VS just to let him go down and save the swap for somebody else. I mean, probably the big killer, though, is the fact that Death Prophet didn't get there until late, and she did not have Exorcism for the fight. That's definitely the biggest deal. Meanwhile, free Roshan for Nips. Gonna clean that one up there.
Engineering genius.
Summer Man, though, continued to farm top lane, and is, yeah, a long way behind. Not that we can really blame him. That lane he was up against was brutal. Gyrocopter against a melee is rough, first place, and then you throw a Scarlet Mage against him as well. That's just really, really ugly. Summer Man could be in trouble here. He gets Sans, Blink, Sans could be in trouble. Throws to the core. Sans comes in after. Waning Rift is there. Now Ancient Seal. All the Sans is on, but Summer Man tries to man up and fight, but he's going to go down to the snap there. The cooldown now in top of Trixie. Chronosphere goes down. It's on top of Disruptor. Catches 3, in fact. Mystic Flare comes in. Maybe a bit wasted, though. Goes on Disruptor. Maybe could have gone on Valix. Doesn't matter, though. We'll get the pick off at least. And TP out there. Oh, Tidana just getting away. Trixie sneaks away. Just barely. 1400 gold to his name at this point in time. He's got his Blink Dagger already. Could really use a Crimson Guard for his team. Or even a pipe would be fantastic, but I think Crimson Guard the more likely. Just protect them. This Gyrocopter is getting a fair bit of damage now. He's up to 111 at 18 minutes in. If he gets another damage item, it's really going to get very ugly very quickly. Even something cheap like a Helmet of the Dominator would be really... It's another 20 damage or so, plus some armor. It's also useful, especially against the physical damage. And most of all, lets him farm the stack over here. Puck, Dream Call down for 20 seconds, and Gyrocopter's got to be careful because Disruptor's in the neighborhood. Although he does have a BKB, but it's on cooldown, and it would be a pretty big... You don't want... I mean, you have to, otherwise you're going to die. You pop the BKB to bounce Glips, but you don't really want to. It's definitely pretty upsetting. Oh, Counter Ward getting taken out there. It looks like they'll have to throw down another one. They've probably seen this ward, though. Fresh ward, giving things away there. One of the things you don't want to do, you kind of want to stick the counter ward down first, de-ward it, and then... I mean, even if you don't move your observer ward, it means your enemy has to think, well, did they put it there, or did they try and screw with us and then put it somewhere else? Really hard to tell. Meanwhile, Void being chased down, has been silenced up. It's going to flare off, though, and he should be able to just leap away here. We'll leap away into the trees and TP out, although the ghosts are following him. They find him anyway and bite him down. That is unfortunate for Void getting picked up there. Meanwhile, it looks like they're going to come in the backside. Out comes the Glimpse, though, sending back the Wisp, and they're just going to bring down Garrix. The 1v3. The Aegis now expended there. I don't think they want to fight him the second time around, though. They might just throw a call down, and Valix is definitely too low. Maybe they had some more mana to go for this now. We've got the missile being popped up again. A hear a Cyclone. Okay, it's just dodging the homing missile. Now Moon up to 1,000 gold there, but you see Moon is definitely leading pretty handily here. It's only have one death, but it's 6 kills, 11 freaking assists. So many assists right now. Plus Roshan hasn't cleaned up the Ancients yet, although, oh no, they're still stacking their way. 3rd stack for him right now. And he's got his Helmet of the Dominator as well, so he's up to 18 armor. It's definitely pretty damn significant against the Death Prophet. It's going to help him out a huge deal. And whether or not they try and go for it now, if they go for a 4th stack before they try and clean this up. Oh, blink away there from Ty, just getting out. Waning Rift coming in from Puck. But Trixie should be able to get out here, but they're going to steal the stack. Ouch! Trixie! Oh man, I bet he's sad in the pants right now. He was just getting into farming. I was like, yes, I'm going to have this. They've got the ward up though. Spotted out, said, hey, free gold. Free gold for Moon. So now he's had, what, 3 stacks there, plus another 3. He's 6 Ancient stacks probably in the space of a couple of minutes. That's going to be a huge injection of gold from a big steal for NiPs. Unfortunately, 4-rank is not rallying to defend that. They've got Ravage, but again, Exorcism still down, and they don't really want to fight without an Exorcism at all. And a smoke up there. They see the Death Prophet. Down comes the Chronosphere, and this should be an easy kill. We're backed up by Mystic Flare. And Puck going to help out as well. He just gets blown up there. As we have Wisp TP in for good measure. Push! Oh, Anti-Mage. He's hiding. Matumba Man safe in the trees, although this might, never mind. Relocates back out to the mid lane. Titan though, working towards his net worth, but Moon has so much net worth right now. Now the double Ravage could definitely do some pretty big damage, because I think the main thing is here is that Yo is going to be really easy to pick off with the double Ravage. It's going to be quite difficult for him to avoid that. Anti-Mage is going to be able to blow him up very quickly as well. If they get rid of the Wisp quickly, it could be very useful. The issue is, of course, they've got to deal with the Void. Void is going to be in the forefront of this fight. It's just going to look to jump in, throw in a big chrono, and do as much damage as he can before he gets taken out. And pretty much, as long as he deals a fair amount of damage, Moon is going to finish up whatever he leaves behind. Between the cooldown, as well as just the flat-out, just sheer flak cannon damage, I don't think whatever he's going up against will be standing. But 4-rankers can deal with it. Say they get Death Prophet singled out, they could swap her out and then counter with a double Ravage. So definitely things are possible to fight back. As here we go, Gyrocopter now picking up his 2nd triple stack of Ancients. He's just trying to jungle the easy camp there as well. It's the 2nd time he's gone for it. First time he got picked off by a Chronosphere. It's Moon. I'm kind of expecting a Monkey King bar here, just because I'm expecting Anti-Mage, it's somewhere along his line, will attempt to pick up a Butterfly, if he ever gets any kind of farm at all, because right now he's still looking for a 22-minute plus Battle Fury. And nothing on the Courier, so he's got a Perseverance and boots to his name pretty much. This is looking pretty ugly for Matumba Man, who is now rightfully hiding in the trees. Man, that net worth, 5.6k net worth at 23 minutes in, not great. Granted, not really his fault. This lane was atrocious to play against, but still looking pretty ugly. Now getting tossed up in the air there. Oh, Wave of Terror going to whiff though. Meanwhile, in comes the Chronosphere catching too, and it's got Vengeful Spirit and no escape for her. Using, oh no, it doesn't matter though. Yeah, she switches targets as he gets thrown back there, and meanwhile, it looks like the BKB bought by Barks. Barks now just going to TP out there. And he should be able to get away. Meanwhile, though, they are going to lose the VS, and now Trixie trying to get clear. He's got Ravage up if he wants to use it. Does manage to blink away here. Doesn't die at the Ravage. So, homing missile! Not in time. Just gets away in time. Holy crap. Trixie. Balls of steel there. So they will just lose a VS. Despite the Death Prophet getting caught in that Chronosphere, I'm pretty sure Void got glimpsed back. It looked like he was in there. I think he just disappeared. I'm pretty sure he got glimpsed out. Yes, VS definitely does not want to stand that close to Death Prophet. The whole point of VS is to basically swap someone out of the Chronosphere, so if she's standing close enough to get caught, along with Varlix, definitely an error. And especially while they should probably know better than that, because they're pushing a tier 1. Like, Void is going to try and make something happen there. Like, this is the whole point. NiP are looking good for late game. Every time that 4-rank is pushed, they're just going to look for punish. Look to get a pick off here and there. Somebody important, just slow them down a bit, and make sure they hit the late game better off, for which, they already are. 7.5k to 8k advantage. They are definitely going into late game very, very healthy and looking very hard to stop, in fact. Yeah, definitely should not get caught with the pants down like that. Like this is too close. Like Void jumps in, bang, 2 people are chronosphered, and somebody's dying. Like you really don't want to do that. Like yeah, they've got a ward up, but I mean Void could be coming in through here. They could be smoked. It's just shouldn't. The whole point is not to be standing together like that. So, and that's especially like sure, like you're not expected to be gaining. Like this is a better spacing. Like there, that's better off. But especially when they're pushing a tower, like, these guys should, like, Via should be near nobody. She should not be within chronosphere range of anybody. Anti-mage zone. Looking at a 27-minute, maybe a 26-minute, 26-minute Battle Fury. That's, yeah, that's ouch. It's kind of a game where you just sort of curl up and cry a bit. At least he's ahead of Wisp. Wisp has actually had a lot of farm. A mechanism and an urn, and this Wisp is rich. Rich as shit compared to your average Wisp. I think they're actually prioritizing farm on him over the Skies, which I do agree with. I think this is probably it's a very smart choice. Wisp is actually really item hungry. Item and level hungry. The more farm you can stick on the Wisp, the better. Just because you want to be able to make it like Wisp tough enough that if people try and... Because the issue is you pick a Wisp, right? And then he just gets focus fired down. Like everyone goes, oh, well, if you pick a Wisp and then combo with someone really nasty, we'll just focus the Wisp down quickly. So you want to have him have a lot of items. So, alright, if they try and focus fire the Wisp, maybe they get him, but they spend way too much time trying to get him. To which you can work with it. And either you want to do that, like, obviously, with the items that you buy on Wisp, the levels, the farm you give him, or you want to have just heroes like Omnight, that kind of stuff. They can just keep the Wisp alive. Make sure he doesn't get picked off. And it was a Monkey King bar there for the Gyrocopter. That's what he finished up. Now, Puck building towards a Hex, most likely. More Blink Disable against Anti-Mage and Death Prophet. Incredibly useful. They actually Blink Hex to Death Prophet. She can potentially die faster than she has time to actually pop the Yules or the BKB. He's going to run forward and tank that in the face there. And also I should mention, she's level 16 right now. The strength nerf that she had, 0.3 per level, translates to about 95 missing health at level 16. So in this case, she'd be about 14.5, 1450 in terms of the health pool, around about now. Actually, I like 1410. Learn to math. Just going to skip by that. Now they are trying to build an Aghanim Scepter there on the Disruptor. I don't know if he'll have time to finish it. About 1700 gold away from that. If he has time to finish it, that could be definitely a big deal. But he might need a... I almost feel like he wants a blink on that Disruptor, just so he can blink in and throw it in a really... If he blinks, gets down a good Scepter roll, and then they follow it up with a Ravage and then trap them in the kinetic field, that could quite easily wipe a team. Just the amount of lockdown they throw out there, especially if they catch the Gyrocopter in that, just because he won't be able to do anything. He won't be able to BKB, he won't be able to do anything. So that could definitely reverse Foranker's fortunes here, but whether or not they can actually get Anti-Mage with any Battle Fury... Oh boy. At least he's actually getting some ancients now, not having them stolen off him. I see chat already rejoicing about their rares. And yes, look, I'm not going to lie, NiP's looking good right now, but at the same time, Forankers are not out of this. Anti-Mage can do some pretty decent work in the late game, and never discount a bad push against double Ravage. A bad push into a double Ravage and Exorcism could quite easily cause a lot of key heroes to disappear very, very quickly. Now, can they change the silence perfectly? Oh, yes, they will. Actually, I was thinking they were going to use the silence there for Death Robert. They don't, though. And we'll just use the dead easy one with the ult there for Drax. Drax are going to turn and fight. Are they going to try and glimpse anybody back? No, not just yet. Barks tries to TP out. Will not make it. The damage there from Moon, way too strong. Barley's getting beaten up there. Didn't actually throw in the glimpse. Might have actually already used on the AM. I'm not 100% sure. You want Trixie. Having a hit there from Puck, and they just harass the Puck back, but don't actually get anything out of it. But in the end there, a Void for a Death Prophet. I think NiPs are probably happy about that trade as VS gets a kill on Puck somehow. That probably should not have happened. I'm not sure how she managed that at all. I mean, she's got a Magic Missile and a Wave of Terror. Unless Puck is like literally asleep at the helm, I don't think he should have died of that. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Moon and... they're going to do some push here. Moon going to do some decent damage to this tower. In comes the kinetic field, though. Will manage to trap Gyrocopter. He's got a BKB, though, as well as an Aegis. He might just try and fight this. Turns, decides to man mode. Pops down the BKB. He's Wisp going to get chased off there. Ravage not going to get used just yet. They don't want to use it on just a Wisp. Now, Moon just going to sit there and hit the tower. Not going to be able to glimpse him back there. The Wisp is actually going to get out for now. Now she's going to dive back in there on the creep. Actually doesn't tether to Moon. Moon, though. Ravage comes out, catching both. Wisp, he eats an anchor smash here. He's going to die. Gets beaten up very badly. Going to burn out to the urn here, most likely. Tries to deploy his own one, but meanwhile, Moon is just decimating the remaining Radiant heroes. 4 anchors lose 2. Actually, 3 if we kill. Oh, Chirac, so close. 20 health. Holy crap. Almost 3, but they will trade out a Wisp for 2 there. As well as, most importantly, putting a kill down on Gyrocopter. Don't even lose the Aegis. And things looking ugly for 4 anchors right now. 12,000 gold deficit.
A prize.
Now, Gyrocopter up to 900 gold. Actually, I think he's got an item coming. He does. That looks like a Satanic is on the way. Oh man, if he was obnoxious to kill before, even he's just going to get even worse now. Now, if they do get the silence down from Disruptor, though, that could cause some awkward interactions for him. A world-time silence could still mess up this Gyrocopter's day pretty heavily once he gets that Scepter out. Never discount the power of a double Ravage. Anything is possible. Meanwhile, silence. No silence just yet. Dubas going to backtrack the Crypt Swarm. Actually going to glimpse back inside the static field. They're going to try and use the trap here. He's still got Time Walk up. I think he should be able to get away. No, Anchor Smash comes in. I don't think he gets out of here. Throws down the Chrono's field. Will get auto attack down by Bars. Chrono wasted at this point in time. Or is it because meanwhile, bottom lane tower taking some damage? Actually, it looks like it was wasted. The reinforcements are on their way right now. Exorcism ready to go right now. Puck blinks out. Now Moon could be in trouble. Pops the BKB. Decides to man mode it up. Stun comes in there. Down it goes the Scarlet Mage. Meanwhile, Immune going to take some damage. Will actually just phase shift out there. Alex bouncing the hit there as it looks like he's only auto attacks heavy and hard there. Moon though can't going to go down as Anti-Mage jumps all over him. Will bring him down. It's just the Aegis here. Matumba Man forced to back up. Puck dives back in on Matumba Man. Tries to chase him down. Wisp is back as well. Blink away there for Matumba. Barks is going to be careful. Kinetic field. In comes Cold Barks. Just gets away there. Down goes to Puck. And now it looks like Trixie going toe-to-toe with Moon. Moon, though, turning. He's still got the Satanic. Could easily try and turn and fight this. I don't think he's in any danger. Flat Cannon comes in. Will finish off the turn. No, will he get this? Jirax, he's going down the Flat Cannon. Will manage to avoid that with the line of fight. With the line of sight. Just fogging it. Blink out from Anti-Mage. Buruki comes from the outside. It's Moon versus the Wild. He's popped the Satanic. They get silenced up. He's trying to heal up. His Satanic is down. It's been used already. He's now silenced. Still, can he get his skills up? No. He will go down eventually. 4 anchors eventually bring him down. And Jirax there, hiding behind the trees where it's bloody safe. Oh man. Standing there where it was certain death. If they just managed to get off that barrage, he would have probably cleaned them up if he moved over there. But either way, a big swing back towards 4 anchors. They got through an Aegis as well as 4 heroes there. I don't think they used up any buybacks in that fight either. Some really good kiting from that. They dragged that by about 3k. And they fight through an Aegis as well as a Satanic. That is insane stuff there. It's power of exorcism. Now, granted, we've got to keep in mind, though, that essentially it was a 4-on-5 because NiP's lost Void way before that fight. So it was a good fight for 4 anchors, no doubt, but they fought without the Void. The Chronosphere would have made a world of like an obvious world of difference in there. Now, Anti-Mage picking up a Yasha now. Working towards it. Meta actually took a detour and picked up a Vlad. So I don't dislike this. It helps him jungle. And most importantly, it just gives his team some really solid armor. Now, the question is, I don't think 4 anchors realize that their high ground's been warded there. That's going to be awkward. Because that's going to lead them to getting picked off in the base quite potentially. As Void will, like, see, like, if they group up, anybody, especially if someone's standing over here, just trying to hang back, Void could quite easily just chrono them and beat the crap out of them. And a smoke up now. Void sees him. He's got the ward down there. Here comes an easy double kill. Trixie's going down. Jirax is getting blown up. No buybacks available for either guy. And I don't think they brought back in the previous fight either. Let me just double check. No buybacks from the previous fight. But of course they don't have any money this time around, as we can see from the top banners. And, uh-oh, Vlad. Vlad, what are you doing, buddy? Matumba Man wants to kill him, though. He's popped the Ghost Scepter. Might be able to buy some time. The mid, well, mid, though. Mid is in trouble. Mid tier 3, getting beaten down the Void, popping the Masked Man. He's tanking that tower damage. Taking a fair bit, though. We'll actually just try and heal up on the creep there. Meanwhile, Puck. I don't think they can hit this, so Barks decides to go ham, tries to fight this up. Satanic still available. A swap back down. Barks trying to keep him alive. They will lose Boogie in the... Oh, no, Boogie. Scepter keeps alive. Can he tank that Arcane Bolt, though? Healing up. He will be okay there for the moment. Now, Dubas trying to bring this down. Vlad, smiley face. He does die in the end there as well. Disrupt still respawning at this point in time. Melee Rax goes down. Range Rax goes down. And NiP, They score some objectives, but now Tight will be back in 4 seconds. Ravage is ready. Maybe they get a good counter-attack here. Man coming back in as well. Moon just trying to TP out. Don't think we're quick enough to stop him. Dubas might be the choice target here. Dubas losing mana. It's silenced on top of him. Dubas 1 second to leap away. He will be able to get out. And I think they'll just settle for D2N, or maybe not. He's super speedy at this point in time. Silence on. No, never mind. Doesn't go for it. And then we'll clean him up regardless. I thought he might be chasing Void for a second, but Void's already ducked into the jungle. And that's a Hex for Puck. So, right now, NiP's probably quite happy with how things... Like, this right now, NiP's, they're in a good spot. Sure, they fed a fight or two ago, but Minerax is down. They've scored some objectives. And they've got a really, really comfortable gold lead, too. So, they dipped down a bit, but bring it back down to 10k. And this could have been entirely different, but just... Look at this. Like, just 4 inches just slipped a bit on the counter warding. Let their opponents get some vision up, and suddenly, bang. That's 2 key heroes are gone. Most importantly, Trixie is down. Like, this is their big team fight. Like, they set both these heroes set up. They lose Disruptor, they lose the Ravage from Trixie, and suddenly didn't have any team fight whatsoever. It was definitely a crippling blow for Foreigners to take before that fight. No buybacks either. And counter wards, kids, you gotta buy them. But this one here, just so much work, so much value that NiP's got out of that one ward. Now Moon, oh boy, now he's managed to pick up some evasion too, getting even tank, and they get a second pick off here. Like, Foreigners have got to know that there's a ward there, because like there's no way that they would have just instantly been jumped and voided, like hit by a void chrono like that without vision. So Foreigners, I don't know if they're just not on the ball there, or if they're just gone, yeah, screw it. But again, this one here, this could do them over. And they've seen the smoke. Again, so much value out of these 2 wards. It's ridiculous. And NiP know, or they should have seen it at the very least. They probably should have seen that. They've seen it. They don't really care at this point in time. Puck just gonna... Is that a self-Yules? No, it's not. Seals there from DP up. Oh, Blink Fight again. They get the 2 key heroes here. It's Jirac swapped out though now. The king comes, it looks like the kill on Boogie as they throw in the Mystic Blade. Trixie now trying to get back, gets bashed there. Might go down to the Void, throws down the silence there for Jirac, but he's doing what he can. Down goes Void, the tier 3 stealth at this point in time. They've lost Void, they've lost the... There's off the Sky's Mage as well as Puck. Puck is dead as well. Barlock now taking a ton of damage there from Moon. Moon, he's going ham. They're going to clean up the Death Prophet. Now Anti-Mage, can he go toe-to-toe with Moon? Moon gets stunned up, Kinetic Field as well, trapped next to the tower. Will they go for it or will they back off? Meanwhile, looks like they heal there. No, never mind. Gets glimpsed back, I think. Now Moon in trouble. A buyback there. Moon in serious trouble here. Another Kinetic Field as well. Gonna turn on around and blow him up there. That glimpse from Disruptor absolutely screwing over the Wisp. Just sent him back. Just said, nah, bye-bye. And DP even brought back there as well. So, NiPs, they faltered there in that fight. That swap out, though. I was so, like, those kinetic fields just kept them in the game. That swap there, self-sacrifice from Boogie, a big deal. And that's what the real difference was last match. They got off the Ravage, they got off the big Static Storm as well. Void actually got cleaned up at the back end of that fight. And most important, they had repeated kinetic fields to keep Moon pinned down so they could just finish him off. I see it, 10k. It's dropped back from about 11 to 10k leads. I mean, not big deal still. Not a big deal. I can still manage to deal with that. As now Matumba Manga is spotted up there. I don't think Void is going to get here in time. He could try and TP in if he wants to, but I think Anti-Mage is going to play it safe backing out there. He could... I mean, he kind of wants the BKB. Damage. Just to try and deal with some of that magic damage output. Although then again, he does have... I mean, the BKB against Scarlet Mage would be awesome, but he does have a Manta to break the silence at the very least. He might actually just go straight for a Butterfly here just to help him... Actually, no, Butterfly wouldn't really help against... He might just go for an Abyssal Blade. That's also a possibility. Because the Butterfly doesn't really help against the Gyrocopter. It does help against the Void a lot, though. Be super useful there. Now Boogie hanging back in case he needs to swap Matumba Man out of here. The Wisp Orb's probably going to scout this out in a moment. Actually, the Dire do have a ward up now. They see the Wisp there. Now they're going to get the Aegis. There's Cheese as well. Both going. As a swap there, they're going to try and pick off Vlad. This could be bad. They get a Chronosphere in here. In comes the call out. Ravage number 1 comes to Refresher. Ravage number 2 both hit Moon. He does get the BKB up in time. Moon now in some trouble there as they are going to possibly lose the Disruptor there as well. So now the swap out there. Matumba Man, no, he's okay. Is he okay for the moment? He will jump away here, but I think the Arcane Orb's going to finish him off. He's going to lose the Aegis for the moment there, as it looks like on the rear side. Now they're going to glimpse back D2N. He's in trouble. Will get picked off there. Anti-Mage managing to escape for now. No, Whisper's dead. Puck is chasing right now. Yule's still available. Man, Puck is so damn fast. Matama Man, blink again. Holy crap, can he get away from this? Anti-Mage are going to stop and try and fight this. Might not want to do this. He's still got an Arcane Orb chasing him. Is going to back out, realizes he's still under threat. And again, another good fight here for 4 Anchors. They pick up both the Aegis and the Cheese. They didn't use either. And it comes at the cost of just Trixie. That works out as well. I mean, they even pick off a couple of heroes as well. The double Ravage coming out as well. Big deal there. Moon, though, managing to survive. There, it will be an Abyssal Blade coming out from Tum. Man, I do like this. Like, at the very least, it just gives them another superior magic lockdown to use on the Gyro, especially if Anti-Mage just blinks and lets rip on Moon. Or if he blinks and lets rip on the Faceless Void. Either really works out quite nicely. As Void just bashes him to death. Oh man, he's lucky he didn't pop the Mask of Madness. Actually, he might die anyway. Oh man, Jirax gets a return kill there, and a much more valuable one too. Big plays for Jirax coming out. He does get beaten to submission, but easy value there for Jirax. Oh man. Meanwhile, Valix. Let's have a look there. Still got the Cheese, got a heart, plate mail up as well, definitely going to help out a lot. I think like his team could even use an AC. If someone can find the farm for an AC, would be absolutely killer for them. Help deal with this massive damage coming out of Jarek. Could also help offset his huge armor as well. But just any extra positive armor they've got, just to help stack with Anti-Mage's Vladimir's offering, would be really, really nice for the team. Alright, now it's down to a 7.5k lead. I'd say, no, 7k lead here for Nips. And, I mean, people who are counting the stashes already, are you a little bit worried now? I think you should be. Double Ravage, by God, that's a really nice thing. On the other hand, though, Gyrocopter's got 4.4k in the bank, and maybe it's time for a Rapier. And he's got the lockdown to use it with too. Void, who is currently dead. Oh, boy. And he's got the lockdown. You've got Coil, you've got Blink Hex, you've got Chronospheres. I think this is a game which you could do Rapier, but you know what? Super risky. So, I mean, they're not desperate enough to do the Rapier yet, that's for sure. I think Moon can quite easily just finish off his Butterfly first. I mean, hell, Disruptor might even try and get a Refresher if he can. That Storm is so damn good with Scepter. If he gets a double Storm up, he gets a double Storm, double Wall out. Like, he could literally just isolate, destroy, like, just keep someone out of the fight for, like, 12 seconds. It would actually be hilarious. I mean, if they still happen to be alive after 12 seconds worth of Exorcism, they must be tanky as all hell. Anti-Mage, though, he's closing in on the Abyssal Blade, although I think at this point in time, Matama Man needs to save for buybacks. They're not far enough behind where he doesn't need, like, he can just say screw it and just not go for buyback. Not that you don't want to have buybacks, but when you sort of reach a certain degree of net worth deficit, you say screw it, I need, like, you're so far behind, you need to buy up, or you cannot literally win the fights, regardless. Like, sure, you can buy back, but all you're going to do is buy back and then die back. So, at this rate, though, I think Matama Man will be safe to save for buyback. He's definitely strong enough to take these fights pretty much head on, actually. As long as 4 Anchors don't lose, like, as long as 4 Anchors keep Tide and Jirax up, those two big ults are really just keeping them in this game. Is Matama Man trouble? This is why he probably needs to save for buyback. We see a long range call in. No, they will see some sentry wards on the floor though, because I don't know why. Oh, I like this pick here from Vengeful Spirit. Now this is a little dangerous. There's a couple of reasons. This is nice because if Void tries to solo someone, Vengeful Spirit can throw out the can obviously throw out the Ethereal Blade to try and keep them alive, keep them safe. But on the other hand, if she does that and then basically Scarlet Mage decides he doesn't like them, well, regeneration. Holy shit! I've just noticed that Valor Discord. Yeah, Valor's Discord, Ancient Seal, and the Mystic Flare, and whatever's there is not there anymore. So she will probably have to swap into and die. Not that she wasn't already doing that, but you know, it's nice. Either way though, I like the Ethereal Blade pickup, especially if like Void is like trying to chase Valix out of bubble, or if someone's being Flak Cannon to Oblivion. Like he could just throw down Death Prophet too in the middle of a fight when Flak Cannon's up, and suddenly they can't focus a Death Prophet. I think that's probably, I like that, it's a pretty solid buy up there. And hell, DP, if she can find room for it, might even want a second one of her own. Although she is actually really struggling for slots here. She's picked up a Shivas. I would really like to see Tide pick up an AC. That would really help make his team quite tanky. If he can find room for that. That or, I mean, a Hex. I mean, Blink Hex on Tide is awesome. Anybody with Blink Hex, and they really could use it this game as well. Let's see with the Blink's instant stuns. Now Moon doesn't have a chance to BKB. He will manage to get off though, back off there. As now there comes the Chronosphere, solo Chronosphere swap out there. Void now beating away on the Vengeful Spirit. Not a huge value for him. Gonna pop the Ghost Scepter as well. Barks getting annihilated. Needs to throw in the Ethereal Blade. Marks. No, he's got the cheese out. In comes the Ravage. Ravage number 1. Ravage number 2 deployed. Moon's gone inside. They wiped 3 straight up. Puck also in trouble. Gonna self-use. Try to keep himself alive there. Gonna Ethereal Phase Shift as well. Can he draw down in time? I don't know. He blinks out. He's going to get chased, so blinks into a Disruptor. Jirax with the plays this match. Jirax keeping his team in this match right now. They're left with 4 down and all of a Skyeth Mage to try and hold the line. I don't think that's happening. This we see... Well, this is lying, because I don't think that's... I think that's a lie. But we do have NiP with 3 buybacks at this point in time, so they're not going to get the high ground. They might deal some chip damage out. At least they're going to force some buybacks out. See, Butterfly is completed there. That's definitely going to cut into his farm quite a bit.
Another transformation.
These double Ravages, though, coming out, it's so damn good. And the silence is coming through Disruptor. As you can see, if they can shut down Moon before he can BKB, it's so easy to deal with them. I swap out there. Tether will break, though. Now Mutama Man still in trouble for it. Jumping forward. Blink out before he can get bashed. Now Trixie in trouble. Trixie bashed. Taking a ton of damage there. Yulzo trying to slow things down. Momi Missile still chasing. I think they're just going to let it go. And he's going to TP out. He should be just fine. Meanwhile, the chase is still on though. Puck following up, and they lose the VS. But they do get 2 buybacks out of that, so I think in the end, still worthwhile. Meanwhile, Matamba Man still being chased, and we'll also have to TP up before the missile hits him. Do you know the missile's chasing Trixie? Never mind. Here it is. Oh boy, as actually they're going for a kill. The Moon is going for a tower kill. Is going to pick it up there. Doesn't have Ravage up though. Trixie, no, never mind. Gets teleported out. Wisp with the Rat Dota plays there. We'll pick off a range Rex. No big deal. Before, because they're probably okay with that. I mean, it could have been a lot worse, really. Losing Trixie there probably would have been more awkward, because he's 40 seconds to his Ravage. Would have forced him to buy back into a fight, quite possibly. Although, then again, Nips might not push for a while, actually, because their buybacks are down. I see the chat saying Ethereal Blade is for Void. Doesn't work, guys. Void has BKB, so you can't really Ethereal Blade him. No, it's going to be purely to save. As we saw that last fight, probably VS didn't need to Ethereal Blade herself. Although, no, it was fine. She Ethereal Bladed herself because Krob had cheese. So Krob just used up the cheese. In fact, she's picking up her own Ghost Scepter now. But yeah, Ethereal Blade on an enemy carry, usually not that effective. Unless it's something like a Medusa who doesn't buy BKB. But generally speaking, that's why we don't see tons of Heaven Halberds, just because most carries have a BKB, so when you really need to have that disarm down, essentially, it's just not there, because they just debuff it, essentially. It's not super effective. It's really good on friendly targets. That's the main reason to buy an Ethereal Blade, if you're not doing a shotgun build, to throw it down on friendlies. It is insanely good. Anti-mage, as we saw, like, these fights, like, 4 Anchors, if they open up on the fight, they crush, because they're managing to stop Moon from BKBing. These fights, like, that's 3 fights in a row, pretty much. Moon hasn't got his BKB off. That has been huge. Absolutely huge. They bring him down inside that space. Doesn't get to BKB. Doesn't get to even use the Satanic. It's absolutely massive for them. Which is why Tide, I mean, if Tide was building, and I mean, he's got the 4 stuff, which is nice, but I feel like they almost want to blink, because right now it's more important for 4 Anchors to initiate well. If they initiate well, they win these fights. Whereas I think the same is true for Nips. If they initiate well, they win the fight. They've just got to avoid getting those one-man chronos off. Like we saw the one-man chrono on Matamba Man, not huge. The one-man chrono on Death Robert, again, not particularly useful either. They've really got to make sure they get 2. And the ones they want to get are Disruptor and Tide. Like, those big AoE CCs are what really killing the fight. The Nips. So see another Aegis come out there. Anti-Mage going to grab up, and they hand the cheese over this time to Boogie. Because Death Robert, I think she's decided that she actually wants the Ghost Scepter more. Although, I mean, she could just put the Ghost Scepter away and keep the cheese. Either works. I mean, it's entirely possible that VS goes in, swap saves, Ethereal Blades herself inside a after the Chronosphere. Saves life. Ah, not a great Ravage there from Trixie. What was that? I think he might have got pinged by a flat cannon accidentally there. So first Ravage wasted. Refreshes. He's got a second one available. BKB is now down. They could go for a kill here on Moon, potentially. A buyback there from Death Prophet. Having to get back into this. Oh, Trixie, what have you done? This is Black Cannon's messing up his blink pretty badly. Gonna jet back in there. Can he get this? No, never mind. Ravage comes out. A second Shiva Ravage. 2 in a row from Trixie. Oh, man, if there's one way to screw up your comeback, it's... we were saying, the most important thing here for 4 is their initiation. And Trixie's lit up 2 fights, 2 or 3 great fights in a row, then throws out 2 Shiva. Oh, they don't even get Vlad on the return teleport either. Oh dear. Hex comes out there and Matamba Man still giving chase on Vlad. Vlad though now tossed up in the air by the Yules. Should be okay though if he manages to get the... Oh, gonna pop the Ghost Scepter. Has he got anybody to tether to? It doesn't look like... There we go. Gonna tether up and yanked back. Glimpse bringing into play there. Vlad's gonna go down. Should be a pretty simple pick off there for Vargas. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage actually giving chase to Puck. Puck does not really do well in a one-on-one with AM. Trying to run for his life as we see Void pick up a Monkey Bar and double blinks there. Matamba Man blinking in and a blink out there from Puck. Matamba Man just being juked. But Void, Monkey King Bar, which, they're going for evasion? No, they're not. But, you know, it's still a lot of damage. Oh, Puck wants some revenge here. Anti-Mage down trouble. Silenced up. Will pop this Mantis Soul. Trying to get safe. Will get mashed there. Bashed and mashed. Is he going to pop the Aegis? Now comes Tide. Trixie, no, Ravage, because he wasted him. Really wants to Ravage. It doesn't matter. We'll get 1 pick off. They could have had Void, though. No matter. Masker Man has popped there. As it looks like they will get the Puck, though. Puck, yeah, it's 2 good pick-offs. So 3 dead. Meanwhile, though, bottom lane, Moon picks up a... yeah, Moon rats it out there. Nobody there stopping him, and he will clean up their melee racks. And the NiP's baiting and succeeding. Alright, it's 51 minutes in. This is kind of getting to the stage of the game where one team fight can end everything. Like one bad... all heard Lotus quote, like, I think it was just before TI3, just talking about how he hates going late game. And same for Na'Vi, I hate late game because anything happens in late game. 1 or 2 bad fights and suddenly everything's on its head. And at 51 minutes in, you've got a fat-ass Anti-Mage, double Ravages, and Crobulus, who's getting close to being 6-slotted. Just about anything can happen. Or you can get Chronosphere and just get blown up, but here we go. Yule's trying to save his life there, and some man still taking some heavy hits. He's going to pop the Manta, another bash coming in, he throws out his own stun there, but will get brought down, a buyback there from Matamba Man. And they're going to have to... Boogie, what are you doing? Boogie, what are you doing? Never mind, they're going to glimpse him back there. This is what they do. Wait, what? Oh, no, pops the BKB just in time. And will manage to avoid getting dragged back to his death there. Now, oh, yeah, that's a pretty big gold deficit. You lose a whole ton of gold. It looks like 4 is like, screw it, we're all in. Let's go for it. 17 seconds on double Ravage there. If they can get 2 Ravages off, this will definitely be a big deal. Bark's going to take a hit to the face. T2 and Trash in the back, but Chronosphere is down for 50 seconds. This is going to be a rough fight for NiP to try and take. Now Moon in trouble. He's got buyback though. Should be fine. Ravage number 1 comes in. Ravage number 2 is ready to be used right now. Tide pressing forward. Makes up for his last set of Ravages. They pick off 3 heroes and a buyback now from Gyrocopter. Now it looks like Midrax is possibly going to fall here. Gyrocopter going to come back in. It looks like 4 is still very healthy. Can take this fight quite easily still. Oh, Heart there on Bugs. Puck comes in with the coil. Trixie now goes toe-to-toe with Puck. Now it comes Void. Void though. No chrono for 30 seconds. A swap out there trying to keep Matamba Man alive. But Matamba Man blinks out there. Meanwhile, down goes Tide. We pop the Ghost Scepter's popping there. Barks down trouble as well. Jirax going to try and TP out. Changes his mind. Runs away now. Just trying to try and walk it off there. Barks still going toe-to-toe with Gyrocopter. Has to back off here. Pops the BKB. Just going to eat the Momi Missile. And a glimpse back there on Puck. Just trying to make sure he can't keep up. And Vargas, they might actually turn here. Do they have... No, they get thrown in the Yules there. Puck actually coming straight back in. Anti-Mage jumps in as well. Anti-Mage, no, changes his mind. Jumps back out. Pops the Manta. Didn't have a Bissell. If he had a Bissell, they might have gone for that. The NiPs don't manage to stop 4 in their fighting retreat. They will manage to back off. Meanwhile, Trixie comes back to home base there. He bought back. Yeah, bought back just to defend. They lose 1 tier 4. And for the moment, NiPs do hold, but it does cost them a buyback out of Gyrocopter. Oh, good God. That's the turnaround there. But at the same time, NiPs, they're taking objectives, so... awkward. But a 3k lead roughly right now to 4 It's not that it means 53 minutes in, it doesn't mean much. It's just interesting that they managed to switch it around that much. As the supports have racked up, from those fights, the supports have racked up a lot of money compared. Oh God, they're going for the rat attempt here. Jiraxo spots it out. Can they get there in time though? They've got the... No, they decided not to pop it. I mean, they've got Glyph. They decided to let the range racks go. They're happy to kill Moon. Moon regretting decisions made as a glimpse comes out there from Jirax. They read the bait there, fine. And he will glimpse out his teleport home. They don't have buyback now. I think 4 they might have just won that. 2 minutes for they've got 2 minutes down now on the gyrocopter. Can't buy back. And 4 Anchors could just storm to the finish line right now and just thrown it. They've got Void though. Void is pretty stacked, and he'll be back in a few seconds. He'll have Chronosphere up as well, but can he get rid of both an Anti-Mage and a Death Prophet? Tide doesn't have his ult for 20 seconds. Oh, and a DTN about to get picked up here as well. Chendrax get line of sight. It is nighttime. He's going to get juked there by the fog. As he blinks forward, yes, we'll get... No, maybe not. Dirax, no, cancels his... No, changed his mind. He could have given chase. He's got travels. He's actually faster than the Sky. 380 versus... Yeah, he's faster. 380 versus 400, but now they're just getting... No, they're going to go for the Melirex. Decide not to go straight for the throne. They do need to wait for the creep to get here, though. Meanwhile, Rat attempt coming out. Puck going to try and rat this along with the Void. This is a base race, guys. Can they actually manage this? Exorcism versus the Void inside the base. Who's going to win this one? Glyph gets popped there, as it looks like they're going to send back Disruptor to try and deal with this. I think he might actually try and glimpse someone back in a moment before they get away there. Now comes the Chronosphere, catching Batama Man. They're going to try and stop this one here. Boogie also getting focused there as well. Dream Call comes out. They're actually going to try and defend the Rax. Glimpse comes back out there, dragging Dubas back. Dubas going to get focused down. Dubas is down. Meanwhile, looks like they're going to lose Skyth as Barlex finishes him off. I think 4 Anchors have managed to win this one. As they're actually going to turn, decide not to fully base race. They're going to turn, get the Raxes, and then try and press in after. Still 40 seconds on the Gyrocopter, 90 seconds on the Void. He doesn't have buyback either at this point in time. Death Prophet actually backing up. She really, really wants to have that the refresher orb on herself. Oh, Ravage show is ready on Trixie. Might go for this. They've got backup. And there we go, pops in with a Ravage. Ravage number 1, Silence comes down. Ravage number 2, catches 2. Immune not in trouble. Anchor Smash comes down. Mystic Flare as well, Flat in trouble. But they're going to lose the puck. They lose the Wisp as well. Now D2N, force staffing away. They're giving chase. Glimpse back there. D2N's going down. And now 60 seconds there on Void. Can they get rid of this Melirex? No, they're going to go for the tier 4. I really think they just want to get this Melirex in a moment. I don't know if they can take this, although here comes AM. No, they say screw it. Time to get tier 4s. And Puck now buys back. Hex there on Jirax. Jirax possibly in trouble. In comes the Abyssal Blade. Now Immune getting blown up. Pops down the Yules there, trying to keep himself alive. I hear a glimpse go off. Not sure what happened there. Puck actually does get clear. Tier 4 is down. Meanwhile, Mega's coming out here. Gyrocopter has just ported down to the lane. And he's just going to go for it. Meanwhile, they're going to port back the BS. Trying to keep him safe there. Throws out a swap. No, throws out a stun there. Cancels the TP's back. And I think they get this one. In comes the base race. And 4 Anchors to finish this one. Comeback success. 4 Anchors. They come back from being 13,000 gold behind to win this match. Holy crap, 13,000 down. And they were down 2 Raxes as well. They turned this one around. I'm going to say Nips, they had such a good mid-game. They took excellent fights. For the mid-game, they took some great fights. They had some really good wards, took some great fights there. Saw a smoke, a wraparound smoke, bounced that. They took out both Tide as well as the Disruptor and just took him out with a Chronosphere. Stormed in, took a Rax off that. Really good work for them. But then, after that, the initiations that came out of Trixie, as well as Trixie Disruptor, were just absolutely massive. And on top of that as well, we've got to give mention to our Trixie did double Shiva Ravage. I think that's setting a record there. I've never seen someone whiff 2 Ravages like that. But I've also got to point out, NiP could have played some of those fights better as well. We had Void jumping go for single-man Chronos, and just, it doesn't work against a VS. Like, that's the kind of stuff you can't really go for. The early fights went so well because they were targeting Tidehunter and Disruptor. So they went for the backline, picked them off really quickly, swept 4 Anchors team fight out from underneath them, and suddenly they couldn't stand up in the fights. Yeah, they had Exorcism, but Exorcism was not going toe-to-toe very easily with the Satanic coming out of Moon. And then after that, they started prioritizing Anti-Mage and Death Rob, which, yeah, you kind of want to, but they did that, and then the swaps came out, kept them alive, and then they just couldn't pin them down afterwards. And they just basically out-tanked them in the fights. But anyway, guys, that was 4 Anchors versus Seek.